These are the 4 best warm compresses that I have found based off these criteria. They have to be able to heat up between 40 and 45 degrees Celsius, and they have to retain that temperature for at least 15 minutes. Remember, 10 minutes is the minimum amount of time you want to be doing warm compresses. You want to try and shoot for 15 minutes for best results. Let's focus in. Hey, howdy everybody, this is Dr. Neil Guyman, Dr. EyeGuy, and I do videos all about the eyes to help you with your eyes. And this video is another specific video about dry eyes, dry eye treatments, how you can help your oil glands and your eyelids at home. And this list of the 4 best warm compresses are warm compresses that I use myself as well. And remember to check the description below, I'll put additional information down there, as well as links to each one of these warm compresses. Coming in at number 4, and probably one of the most common types of warm compresses, are these heat masks with medi beads in there. What's nice about these is you can put these in the microwave, heat them up for about 20 to 30 seconds. It will reach that optimal temperature range, and it will retain its heat for that 15-minute long period for best results. You can also use these for cool compresses as well if you put it in the refrigerator, so it kind of has that dual benefit there. Now, a couple things to note about these is you can't clean it in the washing machine. You can spot clean the surface, but generally you'll get about 6 to 12 months of use out of one mask, and so you will want to replace them at that 6 to 12 month mark. The other thing, and I'll mention this later in the video as well, but these types of warm compresses do put a little bit of pressure onto the eyelids and the eyeball, and that heat and pressure can change the shape of the cornea a little bit. And you might notice this when you're done doing the warm compresses, you'll take them off and your vision might be a little bit blurry. And this could be from a slight change, temporary change to the cornea. Now, the worry is if you're doing this every day, it could potentially cause corneal problems down the road. Number 3 on the list are these electric heat masks. And the reason why I put them on the list is because they're super convenient. Usually the ones you'll get will be plugged in by USB, and it'll also have a controller on here where you can turn it on and off, but it'll also be able to control the temperature. This one has 3 different temperature zones so you can reach that optimal temperature range, and it has a timer on there so you can have the best temperature, and it can go for 15-20 minutes if you wanted it to. Now, I do want to mention, when you go search for these online, if you search for them on Amazon, you're going to find a ton of different ones that are available, and a lot of them have similar problems. Because they are electric, sometimes people will note that they used it for about a month and then it just quit working. Or they'll say that maybe it doesn't get warm enough. A lot of them won't get to that best temperature range. Or some will say maybe the heat is unevenly distributed. Maybe it's hotter on this side and colder on this side. And so these can be a little bit more tricky to find which ones can work and work the best. Again, I'll put the description in the link below. This one that I have does reach that optimal temperature range, and it also is evenly distributed, so I do like that. Another benefit with this one and other ones that you can get is that you can actually put a thin, damp cloth around it, and that will actually provide moist heat. And I'll mention this later in the video, moist heat is the next level up. You can actually improve your results if you have moist heat applied to the eyelids. Number 2 on the list, nearly tied for number 1, and that's the warm compress from TearRestore. Now with this one, there actually is a gel mask insert that has a little metal disc that you can snap. It will cause a chemical reaction, and it will cause that gel to instantly heat up, and then you insert it into the mask and then you can wear it. Now, as you can see, the biggest benefit with this one is that you can still keep your eyes open while you're doing the warm compress. So if you're someone that's really busy or it just drives you crazy to sit there for 15 to 20 minutes, this is a great option because you'll still get that warm compress and still be able to walk around and do the things that you need to do. And TearRestore has actually done studies to show that the heat does still get to the oil glands of the eyelids, so it still is effective. It'll reach that perfect temperature and stay that temperature for at least 15 minutes. These inserts are rated for 90 uses, so you'll probably notice that they won't retain the temperature for as long. Now, I plan on doing a full review video about this specific eye mask, so make sure you watch out for that one. But in that video, I actually compare this one to the generic eye masks that have the eye slits in them as well, that you can get for about $5. This one with the kit is about $80. Now this one's convenient because you don't need a microwave. It just has that chemical reaction that causes the heat, but you do need to boil the inserts to reset them in order to use them again, so there is that little bit of inconvenience. Another huge benefit to this one, if you're worried about pressing on the eyelids and the eyeball, you don't want to have that blurry vision right after you do a warm compress, boom, this one is your solution. Number one on the list, or nearly tied for number one, and that's the Tranquileyes eye mask. I would consider this as probably one of the best warm compresses you can get. You'll also hear other doctors mention this as well. They have a few different versions. This one's the basic kit. This one's the XL version. They also have some different versions that people like as well. Now, these are similar where they have a gel insert where you can actually activate it with the metal disc in there. It causes a chemical reaction where it causes the heat, and you put them right into the slots of the eye mask. Now, the reason why this one steps it up a notch is because they actually provide little foam pads or little coverings to the gel that you can actually dampen with a little bit warm water and then put it into the slots there, and then you have the moist heat, which has been proven to actually work a little bit better for warm compresses to get those oils out of your oil glands. Now, if you work it just right, if you put it deep in the eye slot, you won't have as much pressure onto the eyeball. You'll still have a little bit, so you'll probably still experience that blurry vision after you do the warm compress. But to me, it wasn't as much as the other warm compresses that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. The XL version is designed to keep its heat 20 to 25 minutes. The basic, smaller version is 15 to 18 minutes, so they definitely check the boxes there. These gel beads are designed for 100 uses, and you can also buy replacements with these ones as well. And this one has the dual benefit as well. You can use it as a cool compress. You can even get these different gel beads that you can get and actually freeze them and put them into the slots and use them as a really cool compress. This one reaches the optimal temperature, keeps its heat for at least 15 minutes, also provides moist heat, which has been shown to be more beneficial, also has that dual benefit for a cool compress if you want to. You can also get different inserts that are microwavable if that's more convenient for you. So there's just a variety of different ones that you can get, and they all work really well. They pack a punch to give you the best results for your oil glands. Now, as a caution, you want to make sure that you're doing warm compresses correctly, especially if you're going to do eyelid massages right after the warm compress. So definitely make sure you check out my playlist right there, how to do them correctly, or you can check out another video right there. I'm Dr. Neil Gaiman, Dr. EyeGuy. Thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing. Stay focused.